Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and we've got breaking news that Prince Andrew, in principle, has settled his case with Virginia Giuffre Roberts. And a lot of people are going to find this extremely disappointing, as I am myself, because although we knew we were not going to get criminal justice with Prince Andrew, my hope was that through a civil trial, at the very least, a lot of the things that we did not see in the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, which we're going to get to in a moment, okay, because she's petitioned for a retrial, and instead of jury bias, she went with, I think it was jury guidance, which is very odd. A lot of people thought she was going to go with this retrial because two of the jurors themselves had said that they had been abused as a child, and this would negate what they actually marked down on their questionnaire. However, that doesn't seem to be the case, and she actually also petitioned to have that sealed, okay? So when I went on UK Talk Radio, I discussed how I hoped that Virginia Giuffre Roberts would at least get financial compensation, and indeed she has. However, obviously, everything that we know at this point, okay, is probably everything we're going to know unless other documentation is revealed and other redactions in these documents are either declassified or basically given to the public. A lot of them are never going to be. I can assure you of that. So I'm going to be really, really careful in this video because we are on YouTube, among other platforms, of course. And I'm going to show you the relationship with not only Bill Gates and what he had to say and how even the media has whitewashed that in many ways, but how Jeffrey Epstein was portrayed as a philanthropist even after, let me repeat this, even after what had happened in Palm Beach. And one of the many charities that he was involved in, and basically I'm going to go through just some of the things they didn't want to happen in this trial, aside from Prince Andrew and those sort of details coming out, okay? They didn't want any more of this. So the charities, including one for Elton John, had him portrayed in the media as some kind of a hero and philanthropist. And what was he working on? Oh, HIV. HIV's back in the news all of a sudden. People that are paying attention might want to know why. Remember, they never, ever investigated Zorro Ranch, and we had those media reports that was the baby farm. You know, I didn't come up with the term baby farm, but again, that's where we were at. So, thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share if you are in the YouTube audience. Remember, guys, fully demonetized here. I'm trying to connect my Podbean, which basically is the audio version, some video casts, but they're all uncensored. Here, we got to censor stuff, and that's why Rockfin is so important. If you want to support me, you hit that red subscribe button on a desktop. You can't do it through the apps, which is unfortunate, but hopefully they're working on that. But make sure you're coming over, you're endorsing me. In fact, if you did subscribe through the app, and you thought you subscribed to Jason Burmis, make sure you're subscribed. Go onto a desktop. Make sure that you're endorsing me. It's $9.99 a month or $99.99 for the year. You get everybody's premium content. And just today, guys, we released a 30-minute or so interview that I did with Rob Revere, formerly of Revere Radio. It's actually almost 40 minutes. You're only going to find that over at the Rockfin and over at theinfowarrior.podbean.com. And I believe that that's only the audio version, so you want to see the video version, go check it out over at the Rockfin. Odyssey, thank you for backing me up. We're going to get to a really creepy story. Yeah, really creepy story. Probably today or tonight. I'm doing the Mel K show. Maybe we'll bring it up there. But all the documentary films are free. I would encourage you to watch them. Let's get to it. So, Prince Andrew settles with rape accuser in principle. Okay? And look, here's the deal. There was so much information out there that even prior to Epstein's arrest, Forget about what happened in prison. I was doing video after video after video. That and the Nexium scandal had a lot of information pouring out about it, okay? And right now, Maxwell has launched her bid. I hope it's unsuccessful. Excuse me. Whew. Oof. I hope it's unsuccessful, okay, obviously. But I had also hoped that co-conspirators were going to be brought to justice. And I want to say this. I'm not a fan of many media outlets. In fact, I use a lot of Daily Mail because the Daily Mail is almost an aggregate. And at the same time, they do like real journalism. In fact, they just asked Hillary Clinton about what just happened with the Durham probe. She refused to answer. She was behind her mask. She ran away. But no other media outlets are doing that. Okay? Plus, you look at the Epstein case, not only did they do good work, but the Daily Beast did really, really good work. Kate in particular here. And I know that she was down there and covering the case in New York City as well. By the way, thumbs this up, guys. Help it out. People have to realize that Epstein had his own lodge, okay, at a prestigious art camp for kids. All right? Now, he was heavily involved with all sorts of charities, always to get his foot in the door. And everybody's like, oh, we're going to give that money back, or we didn't receive it. Look, Epstein, according to his lawyers, helped start the Clinton Initiative. He was a Trilateral Commission member and a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. That is heavily influential. And as I was stating before earlier, this is a PR Newswire article. All right, anybody can go check this out, PR Newswire. So in other words, this is put out as a fluff piece to see who's going to pick it up and also portray Epstein in a positive light. This is 2014, people. 2014. No, it's not sex offender. It's hedge founder Jeffrey Epstein and Elton John AIDS Foundation fight HIV resistance. I just saw another, other than Descovy and Truvada, there's a new one with a C or something. There's all sorts of new HIV and AIDS drugs on the market. Weird. Look at this. The New York Science philanthropist Jeffrey Epstein has put his support behind the celebrated Elton John AIDS Foundation to combat HIV resistance to drugs. For more than a decade, scientists have applied a cocktail of inhibitors. These are actually the protease inhibitors I've discussed, and other drugs to suppress the HIV virus. Viral resistance, however, is a persistent problem, and funding supports the new approach of tailoring treatment on an individual basis on genotype, viral load, and many other factors. Look at this. In 2003, that great guy, Jeffrey Epstein, established the program for evolutionary dynamics at Harvard University, which over the past 3 years collaborated with the Johns Hopkins University to develop databases to predict the effect of drugs on HIV virus and notably HIV resistance. Okay? Think about this. Johns Hopkins. That's how dirty these people are. Harvard. Jeffrey Epstein. Don't talk about that much, do they? No, they don't. And even before this came out, we were starting to see that new photographs were coming out. Okay? Oh, look. There he is. It's Prince Andrew. And, of course, that's Bill Clinton in the background. There's Ghislaine Maxwell. And, again, if you read the court documents, it was alleged in the court documents, Bill Clinton and Ghislaine Maxwell were doing a little bit of the watching, whoop-a-da-boo, whoop-a-da-boo. Just saying. It's out there. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying it's in a lot of the documents they didn't want to focus on. On that same trip, look, it's Kevin Spacey. And they're sitting down in the royal chairs. It's with Ghislaine Maxwell. Kevin Spacey, another person who has some pretty big accusatory problems, eh? Just throwing that right out there. And now for the coup de grace. When we talk about the ranch, and in particular Virginia Giuffre Roberts' accusations, with people like Bill Richardson, who were the governor, okay, Glenn Dubin, I believe Collins is in there, all sorts of other names, other ones redacted. And then you get into the quote-unquote baby farm stuff, okay? Let's talk Gates for a moment. Now, on PBS, this woman asked about his relationship. Now remember, the relationship is reported to just be a decade old. Think about that. But then you look at that, and Jeffrey Epstein has a little foundation in 2003. And Whitney Webb has done extensive reporting that he did business, not only with Trump, which we've covered ad nauseum, but also Bill Gates, even before what this woman's going to say. And when Bill Gates responds to this, it is so telling. It shows you what kind of a nightmare society we actually live in, with a tiered justice system, with limited hangout and real misinformation and disinformation everywhere, with Trojan horse civilian systems and billionaires acting as the modus operandi for a predator class agenda, right? The good guys club, right? All these things are real. Now, when he says what he says, we are just like blown away and shocked.
It was reported at that time that you had a number of meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, who, when you met him 10 years ago, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution from minors. What did you know about him when you were meeting with him, as you've said yourself, in the hopes of raising money?
Well, again, they talk about, she says it was reported about, that 10-year relationship, and it was after the fact. But, Gates is just like, there's nothing new on that front. Of course there's nothing new on that front, because you don't want anything to come out that hasn't already been reported in the press, because, again, you're a PR nightmare that actually, donates to all sorts of media programs and teaches people, how to report certain things through your foundations. This whole foundation front, guys, it's a scam. It's a scam. It's a way to wield real money and influence tax-free under the guise of helping people. My Arnis.
I had dinners with him. I regret doing that. He had relationships with people he said, would give to global health, which is a interest I have. Not nearly enough philanthropy goes in that direction. Those meetings were a mistake. They didn't result in what he purported, and I cut.
Look at him rub his little hands. I mean, could the guy look like more of an archetype for a sleazy supervillain type character? Seriously. I mean, my goodness.
Them off. That goes back a long time ago now. So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continue to meet with him over several years.
Now, is that a no shake? She's like a follow-up question. No. Over several?
And that, in other words, a number of meetings. What did you do when you found out about his background?
Well, I've said I regretted having those dinners, and there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so in general, you always have to be careful. I'm very proud of what we've done in philanthropy. Very proud of the work of the foundation. That's what I get up every day and focus on.
Did you watch that? He's dead, so you got to be careful. I mean, really, dissect that response for a moment. He's dead, so you got to be careful. What? No, we should get to the bottom of the network. We should see where the money went. It's unfortunate this guy had that kind of influence. What were his real connections? Just let's deflect. And he's like, you know what? Bottom line is, he's pushing up daisies. You better be careful. He gives like a uncomfortable gangster answer. I mean, it was pretty unbelievable. Okay, he's dead. So again, reminder, there's so much more they didn't want to come out of this case. And, again, you wouldn't want it in the news again that he had lodges at camps for kids, that he was heavily involved in these think tanks I just discussed, and big tech, and bio and geoengineering on top of everything else, right? You wouldn't want that. No, you wouldn't want those connections. You wouldn't want the HIV connection with Elton John out there. No, 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 no. So, folks, I'll say it again. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. We're 49,000 strong. We're less than 1,000 away from hitting 50,000 on an alternate platform. And look, again, go make the free account right now. That's how you support me. Go check out again, the Clay Clark thing, you only have less than half of that on YouTube, right? All of these things, unfortunately, we can't talk about a lot of the things that are really important right now on the YouTube platform. So make the free Rockfin account bare minimum. Check out all the documentary films for free. This is going to be a shorter video. Share it with others. I love you guys. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on the flip side.